Forget about the people in your past, they didn't make it to your future for a reason. You cannot heal in the same environment where you got sick. You were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. The longer you entertain what's not for you, the longer you postpone what is. Say no to your desire to be perfect, otherwise, you won't be able to improve further. Drive carefully on this road called life, because people will switch lanes on you without a signal. Choose your habits carefully, they decide your future. The more seriously you take yourself, the unhappier you're going to be. The question isn't who is going to let you, it's who is going to stop you. Recognizing that you are not where you want to be is a starting point to begin changing your life. Sacrifice today for tomorrow's betterment. You are willing to pay those payments with pain because pain is just a message when you are fixing something that's insufficient in your life. The greatest thing you can give yourself is freedom from what others think. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen. Always work with it, not against it. Make it your friend and ally, not your enemy. This will miraculously transform your whole life. The chief trick to making good mistakes is not to hide them, especially not from yourself. Forget trying to change people. Either change yourself or change your environment. Or both. Stop explaining yourself and telling people everything. You owe no one any explanation of what you do. Changes happen when we go against everything we're used to doing. Before a new chapter is begun, the old one has to be finished. Tell yourself that what has passed will never come back. Nothing is irreplaceable, a habit is not a need. Late often means never. Clock shows time, and time shows people. You'll be alone in the most difficult times of your life. These times will make you wise, mature, and fearless. Don't change yourself just to make someone happy, unless that someone is you. Just because you miss someone doesn't mean you need them back in your life. Missing is a part of getting over. Don't worry about those who talk behind your back, they're behind you for a reason. Make sure the choices you make are worth the losses you'll take. Never sacrifice your progress for a friend. They might not do the same if the tables were turned. Sometimes you just need to be a bit selfish. Put yourself first and think about what is best for you. It's okay if you don't know how to move on. Start with something easier, like not going back. Close the window that hurts you, no matter how beautiful the view is. Sometimes you have to let go of people who keep reminding you of who you used to be. Forgive yourself for accepting less than you deserved. But don't do it again. If you're not willing to walk alone, you'll never lead your own path. Your friends and family do not always know what is best for you. Loneliness is the price you pay when you start to improve yourself. Life gets better when you let people lose you, instead of begging them to choose you. Characterize people by their actions and you will never be fooled by their words. Most people stay in the same place for a reason. The things they hold dear are the anchor that holds them in place. Your life isn't yours if you constantly care about what others think. People don't decide their future, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. If nothing else, some people just teach you how not to be. You can't make anyone love you, and you can't force yourself to love anyone else. We are the average of the people we spend time with. Surround yourself with good people to be a good person. Don't expect to see a change if you don't make one. People will walk in and out of your life, and those you least expect will become past remembrances of a temporary time you once thought was permanent. You train people how to treat you, unconsciously or not. The point of the argument is not to defeat each other but to understand each other. People who show you new ways of thinking and new ways of seeing life are important. Your enemies will often tell you the truth because it hurts, and your friends will often lie because it doesn't. Be brave enough to say what you want to say, not what people want to hear. The more responsibility you take, the more you empower yourself to actually do something about that pain. Don't take people for granted. You never know when they could be gone. You never know how much they mean to you until they're gone. When someone shows you their true colors, don't try and paint a different picture. People who play roles will eventually forget their lines. Pay attention. Being honest may not get you a lot of friends, but it'll always get you the right ones. People start hating you when they cannot control you. Leave when a promise turns into a sorry. Be smart enough to ask for advice, but be wise enough to know who to seek it from. Never make someone a priority who only makes you an option. Whoever fights can lose. Whoever doesn't fight has already lost. One of the most dangerous things you can do is believe someone's opinion about you. Your relationship with others is a direct reflection of your relationship with yourself. You can't always be nice. That's how people take advantage of you. Sometimes you have to set boundaries. Destroy the old you before it destroys you. Be selfish with your time, a lot of people don't deserve it. Never be so loyal that you betray yourself. Weak people revenge, strong people forgive, intelligent people ignore. Sometimes you need to stop seeing the good in people and start seeing what they show you. Most of your problems disappear once you start hanging out with smarter, more thoughtful people. Everything comes to you at the right time. Be patient and trust the process. You can't always help. Sometimes you will watch people you love make terrible decisions despite the advice you give them. Envy is a waste of time. You already have all you need. Sometimes the world is trying to tell you who you are, but if you don't stop to reflect and listen, you'll never be able to hear. You don't really know the person you're with until you move in together. Never marry anyone without living with them first. Hurting them back will not heal your pain. Someday you will look back and know exactly why it had to happen. You cannot control the behavior of others, but you can always choose how you respond to it. Stop having relationship problems with people you are not in relationships with. Once you lose someone, it is never exactly the same person who comes back. If you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. Trust takes years to build, seconds to break, and forever to repair. Be careful who you share your weaknesses with. Some people can't wait for the opportunity to use them against you. In solitude, the mind gains strength and learns to lean upon itself. Sooner or later, a person who wears two faces forgets which one is real. What you allow is what will continue. Your true friends become apparent when you're at your lowest. Live life the way you want to live it. Because even people who care for you can't be with you every step of the way. If you're lucky enough to get a second chance at something, don't waste it. Stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it. There's a reason why some people are not in your life anymore. Honesty is a very expensive gift. Dons expect it from cheap people. Most people are only nice when things don't matter. Never be so kind you forget to be clever, and never be so clever you forget to be kind. Some people only care about you if you are doing something for them. When you start seeing your worth, you'll find it harder to stay around people who don't. Learn to deal with people for who they are, not who you want to be. One wrong step can change everything. Don't lie, don't cheat, be honest and be loyal. Don't change yourself just to make someone happy, unless that someone is you. Sometimes you need to burn bridges to stop yourself from crossing them again. Make sure the choices you make are worth the losses you'll take. Action breeds more clarity than thought, so you can't think your way into a new life, you have to act your way into one. You can make all the mistakes you want. Just don't make the same one twice. Accept the things you cannot change and change the things you cannot. We often overestimate what we can do in a year, but underestimate what is possible in 5. The greatest challenge in life is discovering who you are, the second greatest is being happy with what you find. You think you know someone. But mostly you just know what you want to know. Don't burn your opportunities for temporary comfort. Confidence does not come from an expectation of success, it comes from a comfort with failure. The point of the argument is not to defeat each other but to understand each other. If it scares you, it might be a good thing to try. Don't take people for granted, you never know when they could be gone, you never know how much they mean into you until they're gone. There are no bad emotions, only bad reactions to them. You have to learn how to channel your negative emotions in a constructive way. People who show you new ways of thinking and new ways of seeing life are important. Develop a willingness to be disliked, this will grant you the freedom to do what needs to be done, even if it's unpopular. Be brave enough to say what you want to say, not what people want to hear. If someone's absence brings you peace, you won't lose anything. Your past or childhood may be messy, but it's a great force in your future. An apology without change is just a manipulation. If it's out of your hands, it deserves freedom from your mind too. The more responsibility you take, the more you empower yourself to actually do something about that pain. Loneliness is the price you pay when you start to improve yourself. Characterize people by their actions and you will never be fooled by their words. When someone shows you their true colors, don't try and paint a different picture. Forgiving doesn't make the person who hurts you feel better, it makes you feel better. The truth is that maturing is realizing that a relationship can always work out, and always be fixed no matter the situation. Your relationship with others is a direct reflection of your relationship with yourself. Your tomorrow can be very different from today if you try. Keep thinking about what is not working today and I promise you that your tomorrow won't either. Destroy the old you, before it destroys you. Be selfish with your time, a lot of people don't deserve it. We are defined by what we give up, what we sacrifice, and what we reject. You are merely a reflection of the preferences and demands of the people around you. If you don't decide who you are, other people will decide for you. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Do not discuss your past with anyone, because only you know its true story and significance. Others may not understand, or even use it against you. Success and failure are fuzzy concepts that only exist in your mind before you do something, not after. The more grateful you are, the more beauty you will see all around you, the more generous life will seem, and the happier you will become. Everything comes to you at the right time. Be patient and trust the process. Enjoy every bit of your life to the fullest. Your compromises and sacrifices will be rewarded. Hurting them back will not heal your pain. There is always time. The only question is how long you will make excuses and pretend that it doesn't exist. You cannot control the behavior of others, but you can always choose how you respond to it. You won't always be able to help someone change for the better if you keep trying. There will come a day when you decide you can't do it anymore, and they clearly don't want to change. Maturing is realizing that overplaying your part in people's lives to prove your loyalty is only proving how much less you value yourself. Deal with people the way they deal with you. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Never deny yourself an experience just because it's unknown or uncomfortable. It may just be a defining and wonderful part of your life. It's never too late to do the things you've always wanted to do. Don't let naysayers discourage you because they may be projecting their own insecurities. The first step towards getting somewhere is to decide that you are not going to stay where you are. You spend your first 20 years worrying about what people think about you. You spend your next 20 years swearing that you don't care what people think about you. You spend the next 20 years realizing that they aren't thinking about you. Being alone is powerful. It makes you realize that you need yourself more. We generate fears while we sit, we overcome them by action. If you want to make the wrong decision, ask everyone. Don't look back. You are not going that way. If people took back the pain they caused you, you'd lose the strength you gained. Life will test you just before it blesses you. If you focus on the hurt, you will continue to suffer. If you focus on the lesson, you will continue to grow. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. You can either be a negative or positive person in life, but only one will get you somewhere. Never expose your next step. Just take the step. A fish with a closed mouth never gets caught. The people who say you can't, and you won't are usually the ones scared that you will. Be careful how you talk to yourself because you are listening. Stop thinking you're doing it all wrong. Your path doesn't look like anybody else's because it can't, it shouldn't, and it won't. If it keeps you happy, keep it quiet. The family you create is more important than the family you come from. The more you know yourself, the less you need others' approval. Just because the past didn't turn out like you wanted it to, doesn't mean your future can't be better than you ever imagined. Do not allow small minds to convince you that your dreams are too big. When you try to please everybody, you almost always please nobody. We cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. The truth is, everyone is going to hurt you. You just gotta find the ones worth suffering for. If you find yourself repeatedly questioning whether or not something is right for you, the answer is usually no. Accept both compliments and criticism. It takes both sun and rain for a tree to grow. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Don't let new wisdom lead you to condemn yourself over old struggles. Bad habits are like a comfortable bed, easy to get into but hard to get out of. In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take, the relationships we were too afraid to have, and the decisions we waited too long to make. Waiting for change while not doing anything for it is like waiting for the train at a bus stop. By 3 lessons we may learn wisdom. First by reflection, which is noblest, second by imitation, which is the easiest, and third by experience, which is the bitterest. Don't let other people's opinions drown out your inner voice. Hope for the best. Prepare for the worst. It's impossible to make everyone happy, and trying to do so will only lead to frustration and disappointment. Stay away from people who can't see any wrong in their actions, but see every wrong in yours. Focus on the step in front of you and not the whole staircase. Be brave enough to be bad at something new. Your thoughts are like boomerangs. What you pass along to others is what will come back to you. Listen to the people who tell you what you don't want to hear. The longer you entertain what's not for you, the longer you postpone what is. The cost of procrastination is the life you could have lived. Don't depend too much on anyone in this world, because even your own shadow leaves you when you are in darkness. You can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. It is better to act and repent than not to act and regret. Excuses make today easy, but tomorrow harder. Discipline makes today hard, but tomorrow easier. If you are a giver, know your limits, because takers don't have any. If you don't clean up what's in your head, you'll drop what's in your hands. Never share your problems with friends before finding a solution, no matter how challenging it is. You don't have focus, not potential. You lack consistency, not skill. You lack strategy, not resources. You lack discipline, not capability. Your future is in your hands, and the doubt is in your head. Everyone wants to skip struggle, not knowing that's where character is built. Self-pity is dangerous. Stay away from it. Vision without execution is just a hallucination. Making too many efforts to forget someone is remembering them all the time. Never let a lack of support stop you from achieving your goal. Don't be afraid of losing people, be afraid of losing yourself by trying to please everyone around you. Putting off until tomorrow is your weakness. Once you are mature, you will realize that silence is more powerful than proving your point. A lack of boundaries invites a lack of respect. Work for it more than you talk about it. Stop choosing what's not choosing you. Learn to be okay with not being invited, included, or considered. It won't happen overnight, but if you quit, it won't happen at all. Work at your job and make a living, work on yourself and make a fortune. The hardest part is at the beginning of the journey. The rocket loses 90% of its fuel during takeoff. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. Don't be upset by the result you didn't get from the work you didn't do. The journey of your success will always begin with the small step of taking a chance. Be alone until you're valued. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. The things you say about others say a lot about you. Don't be afraid to start over again. This time, you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. It's not the future that's hazy, it's your thoughts about it. Stop expecting life to be fair, start expecting yourself to be a better player, capable of handling any situation. When you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch you. Embarrassment is the cost of entry. If you aren't willing to look like the foolish beginner, you'll never be the graceful master. You are responsible for your own happiness. If you expect others to make you happy, you will always be disappointed. You are right about all the things you think you need to do. Don't wait, get started. Not everyone will make it to your future. Some people are passing through to teach you life lessons. Be a good person, but don't waste time proving it. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it. Expect little from people, expect a lot from yourself. That's the secret of a happy life. You can often regret your words, but you will never regret your silence. Don't ever let the same people disappoint you twice. Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. One today is worth 2 tomorrows. Try not to sacrifice your progress for the sake of a friend. They may not have done the same if the tables were turned. Today is the oldest you've ever been in your life and the youngest you'll ever be again. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future, it is something you design for the present. Private life always wins, keep it secret till you win. Being alone is really better than being with fake people who pretend to love you. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. The more people let you down, the easier you'll get back up and realize that life doesn't stop for anyone. Sometimes you have to lose something good to gain something better. Be careful who you trust. Salt and sugar look the same. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Most people stay in the same place for a reason. The things they hold dear are the anchor that holds them in place. You and yours before you are anyone else's. Sometimes you must go to war with yourself to fix yourself. You will never always be motivated, so you must learn to always be disciplined. The quickest way to succeed is to start now and figure it out as you go. You can't learn to drive in a parked car. You make the best decisions when in pain because fear of experiencing the same pain again is the strongest motivator. What we do during our working hours determines what we have. What we do in our leisure hours determines what we are. If you treat an individual as he is, he will remain how he is. But if you treat him as if he were what he ought to be and could be, he will become what he ought to be and could be. The best way to cheer yourself up is to try to cheer someone else up. Grind like nobody has your back. Your life isn't yours if you always care what others think. You may not realize this, but the people you love are your biggest weaknesses. Set your mind on a definite goal and observe how quickly the world stands aside to let you pass. Once you realize your value, you will be greatly surprised at what you used to settle for. Don't tell anyone what you think or what you know, keep your secrets to yourself, because a friend of today could be an enemy by tomorrow. If people treat you like an option, leave them like a choice. To reach somewhere, you need to leave something behind. It's best to leave things at the right time, otherwise, you are left with too many regrets and complaints. Be impatient with actions but patient with results. There's no limit to what you can achieve except that which you place in your mind. Distance yourself from people that bring out the person you're not trying to be anymore. Embrace solitude as a time for reflection and self-discovery. Forgive your old self, you've changed. Many of the people you told your secret to have already told it to others. Stop trying to skip the struggle, that's where the character is built. If you define the problem correctly, you almost have the solution. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. The true test of a man's character is what he does when no one is watching. You've got to do what's right for you, even if it hurts some people you love. When you're working for someone else's dream, you sacrifice your own. Focus on you, people come and go. If you don't control your mind, someone else will. Sometimes, the things that break your heart end up fixing your vision. Loneliness is the price you pay when you start to improve yourself. Be proud, you survived the days you thought you couldn't. Not everyone will like you, that's life. Stop telling people everything. Most people don't care, and some secretly want you to fail. Be kind, but don't let people use you. It is better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for something you are not. Don't go broke trying to impress broke people. Stay away from people who make you feel lonely. No company is better than a bad company. Make peace with your past so it won't screw up the present. Don't compare your life to others. You have no idea what their journey is all about. Never underestimate the power of stupid people. No one is going to figure out your life. It's your responsibility. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. If nobody helps you, do it alone. Take your financial life seriously. Money is a defense to a lot of challenges. Be selfish with your time. A lot of people don't deserve it. What other people think of you is none of your business. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Being alone gives us an opportunity to reconnect with ourselves. Sometimes you need to stop seeing the good in people and start seeing what they show you. Don't pretend to be better than you are. Live life at your own pace. Life is too short to waste time hating anyone. Your deepest, darkest moment may be the best thing that ever happens to you. Envy is a waste of time. You already have all you need. If you don't ask, you don't get. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Life isn't fair, but it's still good. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. Don't trust words. Trust actions. Do yourself a favor, get rich. Life gets easier with money, not time. If you can survive your own thoughts, you can survive anything. If they don't appreciate you, they don't deserve you. Learn to heal without venting to everyone. To avoid disappointment, expect nothing from nobody. Everything comes to you at the right time. Be patient and trust the process. Failure is a bruise, not a tattoo. Avoid gossip at all costs. It's poison to your mind. The root of all suffering is attachment. Time always exposes what you truly mean to someone. Stress is temporary, but the lessons you learn from it can last a lifetime. If someone is trying to bring you down, they are already below you. Money isn't everything in life, but it can help you solve a lot of problems. No matter how smart, successful, and good-looking you are, nobody likes arrogance. Humility is everything. Don't regret having a good heart, all good things come back and multiply. Don't feel guilty for doing what's best for you. Choose your friends wisely. The fastest way to become better is to surround yourself with better people. Be loyal or stay single, that's simple. Expect nothing, appreciate everything. Be grateful for the little things in your life to find inner peace. Do your best and trust the process. The harder you work, the luckier you will get. Never take anything personally. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. Be forgiving. Be understanding. But do not be a fool. Never say maybe if you want to say no. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Your self-respect has to be stronger than your feelings. Don't let success go to your head, don't let failure go to your heart. The best way to respect yourself is to discipline yourself. If you are a giver, remember to learn your limits because the takers don't have any. Don't waste your time with explanations, people only hear what they want to hear. Accept criticism, but never accept disrespect. Never give up on something you really want. It's difficult to wait, but it's more difficult to regret. When you are angry, stay silent. You have 3 choices in life. You can watch things happen, make things happen, or wonder what the hell happened. Stay strong, even when things begin to fall apart, stay strong. You're being judged no matter what, so be who you want to be. You don't have to win every argument. Agree to disagree. No regrets, just lessons. No worries, just acceptance. No expectations, just gratitude. Life is too short. The calmer you are, the clearer you think. The more you are interested in others, the more interesting they find you. To be interesting, be interested. If you are not falling down occasionally, you are just coasting. Hatred is a curse that does not affect the hated. It only poisons the hater. Release a grudge as if it was poison. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. People change. Love hurts. Friends leave. Things go wrong. But remember that life goes on. Learn to say no without explaining yourself. Be a good person, but don't waste your time proving it. Never tell your friends your plans, stop putting too much trust in them. Don't let anyone know what you're doing until it's done. If you want to be trusted, be honest. The only person that cares about your hopes and dreams is you. The only person that is going to make them happen is you. Forget what hurt you, but never forget what it taught you. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Even the nicest people have their limits. Your direction is more important than your speed. Control your thoughts, or your thoughts will control you. Don't overshare. Privacy is power. Don't make a permanent decision based on temporary emotions. To be the best, you must be able to handle the worst. As long as you are alive, no obstacle is permanent. You learn nothing from life if you think you're right all the time. Stay patient. The best things happen unexpectedly. Never regret a day in your life. Good days give happiness, bad days give experience, worst days give lessons, and best days give memories. Life is a one-time offer, use it well. Be yourself. People don't have to like you, and you don't have to care. Free yourself from society's advice, most of them have no idea of what they're doing. First, it hurts, then it makes you stronger. Normalize walking some paths alone because goals are personal. The family you create is more important than the family you come from. Life is short, live it. Love is rare, grab it. Anger is bad, dump it. Fear is awful, face it. Memories are sweet, cherish them.